Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Apex Racing TV's coverage of the week number 7 of the iRacing IMSA Sportscar Championship here on Apex Racing TV. My name is Scott Newton, and alongside me tonight, as always, is Daniel Late. Welcome, Daniel. Montreal, uh, some tight and technical sections throughout this, what is considered a street circuit, but yeah, what are your thoughts heading into tonight's race?
Yeah, good evening, Scott, and to all the viewers tuning in. Yeah, Montreal, it's a very well known circuit, especially for the Wall of Champions. Turns 12 and 13 off the back straight here, so I think we're in for a really good show tonight. GTs always deliver around here at this circuit, and we've got a very good mix of cars in all categories tonight.
Yeah, certainly. Sadly, we've got only 2 Daytona prototypes tonight, but still have a healthy GTE and GT3 field tonight. We've got 18 GTEs and 7 GT3s in the top split tonight of 2 splits. 27 drivers registered in each split, so just over 54 drivers signed up for the 1045 GMT split. So still, the series is as strong as always in terms of participation.
Yeah, definitely, and I think the fact we've come now from the 24 hours of Spa, and the guys had a really good chance to start really getting to understand the GT3 cars. We've started to see that sort of increase in that class as well. But I think it's good all around, just with the level of participation we're getting. Obviously, this circuit tonight probably going to be heavily dominated by the Ferraris, and we're seeing a very strong showing for those cars in the GTE field, as we got up on field at the moment. Fury and Odin, and yeah, the guys out there setting some very, very competitive lap times at the moment. So we might have a quick run through the laps while the guys are just about coming through the end of their qualifying. And out front for TTL Esports, Cameron Dance, currently on provisional pole in a 128.37, just a second and a half quicker at the moment than Alain Day, who we had a chat with last week, and good to see him having another strong showing out here.
Yeah, absolutely. Sadly, with the demise of TTL Esports on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, I'm not sure whether you just saw that, Dan. I just haven't had time to update the team over it, but yeah, certainly Cam Dance is always very, very strong in the prototypes, as we come to expect.
Yeah, definitely, and in that GTE field, going to be very hotly contested. We've actually got one real life driver in there, and Max Verstappen in the car 18 tonight, and he's backing up from the Spa win in the GT3s in 24 hours of Spa. So nice to have him out on the field. And as the clock's ticked over, we'll pull up the starting grid for this race tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So on the pole position tonight, we've got Cam Dance on a 1 minute 28.372. Alongside him is series regular Alan Day. Good to see him as always. And then in the GTE field, we've got Jordan Weeks on pole position in that category, 3rd overall. Adam Pillow in 4th, Florian Bodin in 5th, series regular Enna Marinsky, Max Verstappen in 7th position, Mark Rayner in 8th, Slaven Korluka in 9th, and rounding out the top 10 is Andreas Fink. Kim Song-ho is in the 11th position, Bernd Albeisen in the 12th position. Scrolling on to 13th, we've got Tyler Nadebaum in the 13th position, Luis Nunez in 14th, Yanis Filipovic in 15th position, Sean Canavan in 16th position, Tim Weston in 17th, Peter Coulson in 18th, Darren Lobb in 19th, and Asger Hebsgaard in the 20th position. And that rounds out the GTE field. And GT3s, we got the 21st position, but critically in the class pole position, Mike Owen. Alongside him is Dennis Weiss. Timon Wilms in the 23rd position, Philip Klinger in 24th, Joachim Jungren in the 25th position, Villa Ivananen in the 26th position, and rounding out the field is Carl Townsend in the 27th position.
There's a very strong field of 27 cars out here tonight. We're just about to get underway here momentarily with the Daytona prototypes leading off the field. And very short openings, well, pace lap for these guys starting on the Casino Straight at the moment.
Yeah, thankfully it's a short pace lap. Not to say that this would have been a very long pace lap anyway, but in saying that though, very, very short run to the final corner, and the pace car will be into the pit lane, and we'll be ready to go for this 45-minute event. So yeah, pace car's running the pit lane right now, and we're just waiting for Cam Dance to take the green flag, and it looks as though he's got a very good start into turn 1. And just looking on the GTEs at the moment, we've got Jordan Weeks taking the first position into turn number 1, Adam Pillow in second, Florian Bodin in third, Marinsky in fourth, and Slaven Korluka in fifth. See that looks as though that Max Verstappen's had a bit of contact at the start, and I'm not sure exactly what's happened to him, but sadly he finds himself in the 18th position in class the GT3s. We've got Mike Owen taking the lead into turn 3 ahead of Dennis Weiss, Philip Klinger in third, Williams in fourth, and Junga in fifth. So all in all, pretty clean start, but yeah, there was just a little bit of contact heading into turn number 1, which was certainly unfortunate for Verstappen.
Yeah, definitely a little unfortunate there, but looks like everyone else has managed to get themselves off very nicely here at the start. Philip Klinger up on screen at the moment, up 1 spot from his starting position, finding himself in third, doing a very nice job there, and great to see Audi's so strongly represented, slightly more than the Mercedes tonight, but I think the Audi going to be very, very well for round. Yeah,
certainly. As you see, move up the inside as Jungren making the move on Timon Wilms up into the 4th position, so a great move for him up into turn number 10. But,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just looking at the Daytona prototype field as they're taking the lap number 2. Cameron Dance opening up a 1.3 second gap over Alan Day. Adam Pillow at the moment's got a gap of about 4.5 tenths over Bodin as well, so that those two have been relatively content, but biggest mover of the GTE field at the moment is Darren Lobben as Joe Hebsgaard at the moment, both up 6 positions. So great start for those guys.
Yeah, definitely. It also looks like we had Max Verstappen come down the lane as well, so he's dropped a little bit further down, finds himself third to last at the moment as well on the timing and scoring, but back out on track by the looks of that as well. But yeah, the battles up front really starting to heat up now with Darren Lobb on screen, just staying on the back of Nunez in front of him, and he's setting some pretty good times at the moment.
Yeah, certainly we're just going to go on board quickly with Lobb at the moment, trying to put all sorts of pressure on Nunez, both in the Ferraris at the moment. See if we can bring up the splits for whatever everyone's driving tonight. So yeah, GT is heavily dominated by Ferraris. This Lob going down the inside, he's going to get the move done into the final chicane, and a great move up on Nunez. He will move up to the 10th position.
Yeah, very strong pass there, and the car looked very nice up over the curbs as well, so he's in a very good position as this race unfolds, especially in the later half, as the guys take their pit stops and sort out the fuel. That car looking very, very...
Yeah, certainly. Just we see that Jordan Weeks has fallen down the field. See if we can try and get a replay of that. Seems as though that he's had a number of excursions off the track. But yeah, I think he's trying to put pressure on Darren Lobb at the moment. Oh no, sorry, that's Nunez behind him. Sorry about that. Just see if we can get a replay. What caused this spin? Here we go. So. Oh, it looks as though he just lost it into turn 1. It's a very unfortunate mistake from him. And yeah, he's just going to have to gather back up as pretty much every GTE car went through. And yeah, he finds himself currently in the 11th position in class at the moment.
Yeah, it's a very good awareness from all the drivers there to be aware of that spinning car and avoid any further incidents. And likewise, great recovery to get back on the track the safest possible. We've got a really good battle starting to shape up here with Andreas Fink and who is that? Aaron Marinsky in the Porsche and Ferrari. Those guys very close together at the moment, and I think this little battle will heat up. We've seen these two in some early races throughout the season, and they've been very competitive when we watched them previously.
Yeah, certainly. One of the races that comes to mind of late was at the Nürburgring WEC layout, where Marinsky may have had some small issues that might have put him out of the race, but he was certainly very much on the pace, and it's certainly showing it today. He is, I think, 3rd quickest in the GT category at this time. Got Pirlo and Bodin fastest laps in the mid 1 minute 30s, but everyone else is in the 1 minute 31s or slower. See, who is that? Rayner trying to make a move on Nadebaum at the moment, so great move for Rayner to get up into the 7th position.
Yeah, Shane coming on really strong in the Ferrari. He's been out here a few times throughout the season, and consistency in this car very good. Normally we tend to see Mark in the V8, so quite a change in driving style, the Ferrari to the V8, but seems to be getting on top of that car very well. It looks like Taylor Nibis running very wide there through turn 13, taking to the grass. He should probably end up with a slowdown penalty as a result of that, and we may see Darren Lobb being able to get through up the inside as he does quite clearly there.
Yeah, it can be pretty brutal, that slowdown penalty through that final chicane, as especially in the first lap, with the fact that you can get a 2-second slowdown penalty, but with it waiting to clear, it ends up costing you at least double that or more. So Nadebaum back in the 10th position in class, 12th overall at the moment.
It looks like we've already had a couple of early race retirements with Asger Hepsgaard and Max Verstappen both retiring from the race.
Yeah, I was certainly looking to see how Verstappen was going to cope with these GTE cars, given that he was in the GT3 Audi last week and for the Spa 24, and pretty much dominated the whole event with Lando Norris, Max Wennig and Max Benecke. Pretty much the class of the field for that whole event, as certainly come to expect from both PRT and Redline.
Yeah, definitely very dominant display, but not quite their ideal night tonight. Out here we've got Mark Rayner back up on screen, still in a very strong battle here with Jordan Weeks coming back after his earlier spin, and he's fighting on very well in that Ferrari. Doesn't look like to have got any damage, so he's working up really well on the back here of Mark Rayner, and these two not separated by much last time by. If anything, Mark's slightly slower by about 7/10, which has brought him back onto the front here of Weeks, but these two should put on a very good fight here.
Yeah, certainly. It was good to bring up the time delta over the last 5 laps or so, as yeah, that gap is certainly not representative of what it actually is. I think that was when Jordan had his spin, so there's a bit of contact, and that's yeah, that was certainly not what Jordan wanted, but he may have to address that at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Darren Loeb was able to be the beneficiary out of that one. He jumps himself up 2 spots up into 8th in class and 10th outright as a result of that. So fortunate for him. Mark won't be too impressed with that. He's dropped down quite a few spots as a result, finds himself back now in 13th overall and 11th in class. So he dropped 4 spots as a result.
Weeks just drives it straight into the wall, and he'll evidently tow it back to the pit lane. Must have had some steering damage after he had contact with Rayner, but I think there was a bit of contact with the Wall of Champions as well, which bent the steering. So that pretty much put an end to Jordan's race today. But yeah, just looking at any other battles at the moment, we've got Bernd Bison trying to catch up onto the back of Mark Rayner, stricken Ferrari, and the Ferrari of Nunez currently under pressure from Rayner, but I suspect that Nunez might be able to pull away, as he's demonstrating at the moment, gap up to 0.4 of a second at this time.
Yeah, Mark's still looking very good under brakes. He might get a move done here off the back of the Casino Straight if he's able to pull into that draft. Looks like they have been able to put a little distance on Helberson, who does seem to be carrying a little bit of damage on the rear quarter of his car as well. So Mark's steering not looking too bad after that earlier contact. It does seem to be down a little bit on top line speed as we're watching here through the onboard. The car's still getting through pretty nicely down through the Wall of Champions, maybe not just running it out to the full extent of the track width there, but the car looks to be going pretty good for him at this point.
Yeah, so we got Alain Day in the pit lane at the moment, so he's the first of the drivers to actually take to the pit lane. Assuming that he hasn't had any contact, but I saw that he was falling down the field a little bit, as Rayner's all over the back of Nunez at the moment, but not able to get it done. Just runs a little bit wide through turn 5 and had to back out of it.
Yeah, he's not letting go here. He lost a little bit of contact, a little bit of mid-corner downforce there, and did run wide, but still able to retain on the back of that car in front. We see Nunez running very wide. He will gain an off-track and slow down penalty as a result of that, which will allow Rayner through, but the car just didn't seem to want to pull up through turn 8 and 9 there, so he's lost a good bit of time.
Yeah, certainly. That'll also bring Hal Bison back into this picture as well, which will be interesting to see whether Mark will be able to hold off Nunez as he's looking up the inside, but not going to be close enough this time to get the move done. So Rayner up into 9th in class, 10th overall at this time. I think Alain Day has come out of the pit lane with a 46-second pit stop time. So quite a lot longer stop than I would have anticipated, but saying that though, he's still able to continue.
Yeah, and Mark Rayner, for his fight there, seems to still be able to getting out front. We've just dropped back here to Sean Kelvin and Dennis Weiss. These actually Janis Filpovic and Sean Canavan. These guys very close out on track. Good to see one of 2 BMWs out here tonight, along with a couple of the Porsches, not as many as we've seen previously, but these cars seemingly very matched last time by for both drivers in the 133s, so very competitive times at the moment, and they're actually closing up a little bit on Tim Weston just in front of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at lap times from Weston, last time around was a 1 minute 35.1, so he must have made a small mistake there in the previous lap, or maybe may have had a slowdown penalty of some kind. So, in saying that though, Weston is still up and going, which is good to see.
Yeah, we might have to jump also up to the front of the GTE field as well. Looks like we've got Bowden and Pilo going for first and second, although that gap seems to have now stretched out. So my timing there was showing a little bit closer than it was in actual facts, but Bowden doing a very good job out front.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at the GT3 lead at the moment, Dennis Weiss and Mike Owen going nose to tail at the moment into turn 2. Gap at the moment is only half a second at this time.
Yeah, and Weiss finds himself dropped back into second position. He was the initial class leader. Dennis Weiss doing a very nice job tonight, up 5 positions from his starting grid spot. So the Audi for him working very, very nice. And likewise for Mike last time by, both those drivers 133.4 and 133.5 for Dennis. So very competitive lap times in both those cars, and actually matching the pace of the GTE field cars just slightly ahead of them.
Yeah, certainly. Just coming up to the pit stop window right now. So typically with Montreal being a high fuel burn circuit, we won't be seeing drivers going as far as 35 minutes, but as come to expect, us or both of us commentators can be proven wrong. So but just wait to see how the drivers fare in terms of the fuel strategy tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We've improved that quite a few times in previous races where we've expected earlier pit stops, and the guys have been able to eke out quite a long time on a full tank of fuel. So it'll be interesting to see if any drivers may be playing with the fuel mix a little bit to try and extend that while they're up in the draft, which could be beneficial a little bit later on. Give yourself a slightly shorter time window in the pit stop there, but we'll have to keep an eye on that as the race unfolds.
Yeah, definitely saw that one of the cars behind may have had a bit of contact with the Wall of Champions. But yeah, this GT3 battle at the moment between Jungren, Wilms, Klinger, Lever-Ninen, and I think Townsend's in this battle as well. So, you know, it's from 3rd all the way back to 7th is pretty much together, as he's got Carl Townsend into the wall at turn 5.
Yeah, that damage will see him drop back. I think he might have actually escaped back to the pits as a result of that damage. So this will make this a nice little 4-car train. Looks like a little bit of damage on Philip Klinger's car, who we're watching it now with the Audi there. So it doesn't seem to be affecting him too much, but we may see that should he be able to get out to the front of this little group, might be a little bit harder for him. But all 4 cars here very consistently, or very evenly paced. Lap time, best lap for all these cars within 0.3 of a second. So at full song, they're very, very close together.
Yeah, certainly. We've got Nunez into the pit lane, so he's the first to blink for the GTE category. We'll see where he comes out relative to the GT3s, but I would expect that this group here is going to get through. We see Nunez in the left-hand side of the picture getting out of the pit lane right now. So that's certainly what Nunez did not want, to have to come back through this GT3 field.
No, not at all. And I'd actually be a little bit concerned coming in this early on, only 18 minutes on the clock. Will he have enough fuel to actually be able to get that car home without requiring another trip down the lane?
Yeah, certainly. We've got 27, or just shy of 27 minutes plus 1 lap to go. So, yeah, it's pretty much right on the bubble, I would think, with the fuel restrictions for all cars today. But,
yeah, definitely. And any time he spends behind this group of GT3 cars trying to battle, that will start to hurt his performance on that long run.
Yeah, certainly. Just going to go back up to towards the front of the GTE field. Got Marinsky and Koluka battling it out for the final podium position. Koluka definitely having a very, very strong performance, trying to hold off Marinsky. Marinsky might look to the inside, but Koluka saw that coming pretty much very early and took the inside line. It's great to see that the hometown hero is up into the podium position at the moment, but Marinsky certainly looked to take that away from him.
Yeah, definitely, and probably for the regulars too, they might have noticed Kaluka in the Ferrari as opposed to the BMW, which we've seen him in majority of the season so far. So nice to see him with a little bit of change up in cars as well. But himself and Marinsky, 2 series regulars. Marinsky, nice move down the outside, not quite able to pull that off, but will set himself up for a nice run here down Casino.
Yeah, going to go side by side through the back straight there. Marinsky's got the job done pretty much, but Kaluka trying to get his nose up the inside. He may just have to cut back in line, and he does. So Marinsky back up into third. It's a great move him. Oh, Kaluka took a lot of curb there. That certainly hurt him. Very, very surprised he didn't get the slowdown penalty, but certainly kept it out of the wall of champions. So great recovery for Kaluka. So yeah, lost 1.1 seconds on that last lap to Marinsky.
Yeah, don't discount him though. He will settle down and come back up. So I'd expect within a couple of laps here, he should be back up on the tail of Marinsky again. That high curb that he took before, that did settle him down a little bit, which not probably ideal for what he wanted, but he will take this opportunity now just to regroup and get back in. Looks like we've got another pit stop going on here for Sean Canavan in the GT3 field as well. So he's in for a stop. We'll keep an eye on what his time frame is as well.
Just going to quickly go back to the lead GT3s at the moment. Still nice battle going on between Weiss and Owen. Bit of a temporary disconnect for Owen. Yeah, in saying that though, Owen was able to close up a couple of tenths last lap. But yeah, we'll see whether he's able to try and get the job done within the next couple of laps, or whether he'll try the undercut. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, it's just might have had a little bit of a technical glitch on my end, but I hopefully got you back, Dan.
Yeah, mate. Yep, still here.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, it's yeah, just our communication software playing up a little bit, but yeah, just going through this battle at the lead of the GT3s at the moment, Weiss and Owen. Looks as though that Owen was able to close up a further 2 tenths last lap. So certainly on the charge, trying to get that first position.
Yeah, definitely. I think as the guys get in towards the window for the fuel stops as well, this is where we will start to see a little bit of gamesmanship here to see who wants to blink first, come in for their stop, and maybe attempt it.
Yeah, certainly. I see that the battle for third place and back in the GT3 field has opened up a little bit, as Owen all over the back of Weiss. Just going to go on board with Owen at the moment. Yeah, seems as though he's employing a bit of the field saving techniques. As though it was a bit of an early lift into turn 10. See what he does this time to the final chicane. As yeah, Weiss taking a lot of curb to the final chicane, so looks as though that Weiss is pretty much going all out to try and stay ahead of Owen at this time. Ljunggren into the pit lane from third place. there's not too many battles going on at the moment other than the one on screen, as Cam Dance is all on his own at the moment, being in the lead of the prototype field. Florian Bodin and Adam Pillow got a 3-second gap between each other, and then a further 10-second gap to Marinsky in third position in GTE. And then this is the lead battle in GT3 at this time. Got just over 20 minutes to go in this race. And then Timon Wilms in the third position as well. And that pretty much rounds out the podium battles in all of the classes at this time. As we see Weiss into the pit lane, and Owen going quite a bit deeper than he would have liked. That's certainly going to hurt him on his in lap if he decides to pit this lap.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to keep an eye on that because that's not ideal for what he would have wanted.
Yeah, so they got the track map ready to go. Once Mike Owens decides to take to the pit lane. Saying that though, so Weiss is about to come out in front of Jungren, which was certainly expected as there was quite a big gap between himself and Jungren. But we'll certainly have to see where this battle will shake out. But just looking at GTEs at the moment, our leader in this category has got a 2.7 second gap on Adam Pillow. Bodin trying to put a lap on, who is that? I think that might be Peter Coulson in his BMW. So Bodin just trying to make his way through the traffic. Maybe a little bit compromised in the exit of turn 6, but still getting his way through there.
Yeah, not doing too bad a job. Coulson probably just a little bit out of sorts, but shouldn't be too bad. They're able to let the leaders go through. Just keeping an eye on what Weiss did for his stop. And it looks like Mike Owens has jumped into the lane now for his stop. So Weiss was stationary for 29.8 seconds. So we will need to keep an eye on what Mike Weiss does. It looks like also Tim Wilmans is in. So the GT3 car's starting to come down the lane for their stops as well. And Vili Ivan is in the lane for his stop as well. So it looks like all our GT3 cars now come down for their final stop.
So Owens moving right now out of the pit lane. We got Weiss coming down the front straight. I think Owens got it, to be honest. Yeah, certainly has. The difference in the pit stop was about 4 seconds, give or take. It was pretty much exactly 4 seconds gap. So that's where the delta was. But having said that though, 4 seconds is quite a lot of fuel, so we don't know whether Mike underfueled or whether he fueled it to the right amount. 13 seconds is pretty much a typical stop, I would have thought, given the previous rounds we've seen.
Yeah, definitely. And the guys being sort of the back end of that window as well should have plenty of fuel now to get themselves home. Obviously 28 minutes down, a 45-minute race. That's a long way into this stint, well over halfway. So they should be very, very good on fuel. The only question, I guess, is have they put enough in as a result of that difference in stationary?
Yeah, certainly. As we've got overall leader Cam Dance into the pit lane as well. Pretty much class of 1 at the moment, sadly. But yeah, Alain Day, the second Daytona prototype, is in the pit lane as well. He's only completed 13 laps, so he's 6 laps down from where we are right now.
Yeah, not ideal on that there. Looks like Adam Pillow has come into the lane for his stop as well. So I think we're going to see the majority of the field near enough to the 30-minute mark start coming down and completing their stops.
Yeah, certainly from current trends having been in like the open wheel categories like the Formula Renault 2.0, like and from spectating the World Championship Grand Prix series for the last few years, at least with the McLaren MP430, it was always a tough race, especially on the fuel, because you would take the max that you could, but you'd still have the fuel save. So uh, looks as though that everyone is pitting around the 30-minute mark as bought in at the hairpin right now. Just have to see whether he comes in this time.
Yeah, I'm just keeping on the guys who haven't come in for their final stops yet. It looks like Nunez is still out there. Sean Canvan, and we also got Jonas Philippes, Tim Weston, Kim Shun, and Slaven Koluka and Marinsky still yet to come down the lane for their respective stops as well.
Yep. So Marinsky's in, and Koluka will be going another lap. So he will take the GTE lead for one lap, at least, as Bodin is just about stopped in his pit box right now. Sungho is into the lane. He's got quite a lot of damage to that front of his BMW. So yeah, Tim Weston in his Porsche as well. We'll see what he does this time. Got Darren Love, who has a Giannis Filipovic, who hasn't pitted as well. So there's currently only 2 people that haven't taken to the pit lane at this time, in Koluka and Weston. So done very, very well to eke out the fuel.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be interested to see what Koluka is able to do on this outlap or final in-lap, should we say, and to see whether he does come down the lane and if he's actually able to make any sort of inroads on the cars in front of him. He should hopefully be able to pick a bit up. The car looking very good, and he's got a lot of clear track in front of him. So the lap times that he's setting down through the sectors look very, very competitive right now.
I've just seen on the live timing that Bodin has crashed. That might have been with a lap car. Just have a look on the replay. As they're going into the hairpin right now, going a little bit wide. Well, I'm not sure why that has actually pulled us to that specific moment, but yeah, it certainly hasn't crashed. Must have been just a slight disconnect. His speed registered as pretty much nothing. So, but yeah, Florian Bodin, bit of a heart scare for a split second there, but yeah, currently in the GTE lead as Koluka is into the pit lane right now. It's actually been gapped quite a lot by Marinsky, so not sure whether that was just consistency or whether that was blistering pace from Marinsky that's opened up that gap by the margin that it has.
Yeah, well, looking at the times here, it looks like Koluka was actually a little bit slower overall on his initial lap comparative to Marinsky. Marinsky doing a 52. Actually, I didn't get the in-lap, but Kaluka's in-lap was 44.9, so probably a little bit slower there. And watching where the guys are out on track at the moment, yeah, he's a long way back.
Over 4 seconds in terms of a gap to Marinsky, so I think that overtake was probably a good 6 or 7 laps ago when the overtake was made. So to lose that kind of time in about 6 or 7 laps, that's good. I would say 6 to 7 tenths of a second that is lost average per lap. So yeah, maybe the setup was not where Koluka would have wanted it with the yeah, with the way that his car's fared. But yeah, just going to quickly look at the weather on the screen if I can find it. If it'll bring it up, because it's typically in replay. That's why I can't see it. So we got a 8 km/h wind, 21-degree ambient. So it's actually very, very cool in the simulated morning. It's track temperature of 26 degrees as well. So plenty of grip out there for everyone to utilise their tyres.
Yeah, definitely. And while we just keep a bit of an eye here on Kaluka, we'll quickly run through some of the drivers who have unfortunately had to retire from today's race. So we've got Alain Day, Carl Townsend, Max Verstappen, Asger Hebsgaard, and Jordan Weeks, unfortunately all retiring from the proceedings today.
Yeah, certainly unfortunate for those drivers. I think the last car that is currently running is Peter Coulson in his BMW, so he sits 22nd overall and 15th in class at this time. But yeah, we've just got this battle between Halbison and Nunez. Just coming under 10 minutes to go. Cruising on 9 minutes to go, actually.
Yeah, this is closest battle on track. We've got our race leader Cameron Dance just in the back of frame as well, so these guys will just have to be wary on that. Doesn't look like Halbison able to quite get any advantage out of the draft. To see him in 5th gear at the moment, maybe that car down a little bit on top straight line end as a result of that damage that he's got. Still able to get through turns 12 and 13 quite nicely. The car not too unsettled there, but yeah, lacking a little bit in top end performance.
Yeah, certainly with that wing damage he's got at the back there, certainly not helping. But with the overall leader, Cam Dance, about to put a lap on these two. That might break up the battle just a little bit more. They're coming through turn number 5 now. Cam might just have to wait, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think Cam will be pretty smart about where he picks his opportunity to get through. Obviously, he's aware of the guys in front having a battle, and he'll try not to get into that. But as you see now, it's a nice little run and probably the great time to go up between the inside and not really impact this battle.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't really given much time or airtime to our overall leader, so I think we'll go on board for a lap around Montreal in the prototype to see how the Daytona prototype fares around this racetrack. So that was a lap around Montreal in the Daytona prototype. Looks as though that Dance was able to set the fastest second sector of the race with a 27.3, but in saying that though, he is class on his own at the moment, pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. It's still very interesting to hear the way he's pedaling that car through the corners there, obviously having a couple of shots at the accelerator just to make sure it's settled before he gets underway. Just putting another lap on, who is that? Neremben, and working his way back up. So that sees him currently having lapped up to 9th in class, or where are we? 10th outright, and 9th in class car there of Taylor Nadaben.
Just going to quick jump back to the battle for 10th and 11th in the GTE category at the moment. This is battle for 11th and 12th overall. Still half a second between Nunez and Halbison.
And for all the damage that Halberson's got on that car, still able to keep touch on the back of Nunez, which is a great achievement at the moment. Obviously, we saw Cam Dance get through and that gap open a little bit, but certainly able to close it down. And the lap times for both drivers this late into the race, both dipping into the 133s pretty well consistently, only a 10th of a second difference between both drivers.
Yeah, certainly. Just going to bring up the time delta over the last 5 laps. It's pretty much been stable for the course of this little bit here. It's only closed in about 0.2 of a second, so still holding in there is Halbison as they're coming up to complete lap number 26 and going up to lap number 27 for those guys.
Yeah, with 41 minutes on the clock, I think we're likely to see about another 2.5 laps, maybe 3 laps before the end of this race, based on where Cam Dance is around the circuit. He's working his way around the back half of the track at the moment, so keep an eye on that. We've got a great little battle here with Pilo and Bowden, first and second outright in class. And actually, what's happened to Pilo is he got a slowdown penalty. He dropped a long way down as a result of that.
Yeah, there's nothing on my timing screen, so it must have been just a slowdown penalty, but that's cost him near on 4 seconds.
Absolutely, and he finds himself behind some GT3 traffic as well, which won't really help his cause here. So almost a bit of a double whammy in the slowdown, and then finding himself behind a slightly slower car.
Yeah, I think that might be Dennis Weiss at the moment, which it is. Oh, sorry. If I get the right driver. That's yeah, Pirlo putting in another lap, as you say. Gap's opened up to about 5.4 seconds. So, but then again, that could be fuel related too, so. But in saying that, though, of the top 3, Pirlo was pretty much in line with Marinsky on 10.9 second stoppage time in the box. So, yeah, to be honest, I think that could have only meant a slowdown penalty for Pirlo, to be honest, looking at that.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct there. We'll have to see whether he is able to try and get back. I think he's got a lot of work ahead of him if he does want to close up that time frame. And last time by, even with that slowdown, slightly quicker by 0.2 over what we saw from Bowden. So it didn't impact him a lot in outright lap pace, but yeah, he dropped a long way down as a result of the off track.
Yeah, certainly. So it's pretty much no battles going on at the moment. I was just winding down the clock now, pretty much at 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock right now. So to see where Cam is this time. So I reckon that we'll be getting the white flag this time. Only a minute on the clock. So, but a 1 minute 29.8 last time around. So yeah, this is going to be the final lap of the race.
Yeah, it's been a very commanding drive here from Cam Dance, very reminiscent of what we've seen from the likes of Blake Neck throughout the series as well, and doing a very good job. Unfortunate for Alande, not able to continue on. He had some earlier issues, which unfortunately saw the retirement of his car, but it's been very, very strong drive here tonight from Cam.
Yeah, certainly. You see Bodden into the pit lane as well. We'll have to try and get that on replay at the conclusion of the event, so that'll promote Pirlo up into the first position in GTE. Having said that, though, 1.6 seconds earlier in the pit box, so that might have been fuel, I would think, and he took a 3-second stop, so yeah, Bodden was 1 lap short.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate for him there. He put on a very good drive throughout the race. Unfortunately, that slight miscalculation in the fuel does see him drop quite a long way down this field now, and Cam Dance brings it through for the final time through the Wall of Champions, and he will take the race win here tonight at Montreal. Congratulations, Cam Dance. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, certainly. Congratulations to Cam on the win tonight. We've got Adam Pirlo in the GTE category at the moment. See where the GT3 winner is at the leader is at the moment. He hasn't crossed the line just yet, but Mike Owen certainly been dominating in the GT3 category at the moment. He's opened up a 7.6 second gap on Dennis Weiss.
Yeah, it's been a great drive. We saw Owen and Weiss having a very good scrap earlier on there. So for him to be able to pull out such a commanding victory in that class is phenomenal, and big hats off to him there. Well done. And it looks like Adam Pirlo just behind, now crossing the line to take the first place class in the GTE.
Yeah, absolutely. So congratulations to Adam Pirlo as well. See where Kaluka is here, was only 0.7 of a second behind Bodden at the end there. So what could have been for Florian Bodden, he was certainly looking on track to take the win, but yeah, just with that 1.6 seconds short of pit stop time, certainly cost him. But yeah, I'm sure that he'll be learning from those mistakes, as we all do, and yeah, I'm sure that he'll be back a lot stronger next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, it's those things that you only really can sort of test out in a race condition, and unfortunately didn't quite go his way tonight, but still able to make it home for third position in the GTE field. But with that being done and the conclusion of the race, we'll bring up the final race results before we see whether we get any drivers drop in for interviews. For any of the drivers catching in on YouTube, the link's been dropped into Discord there. So if you guys would like to jump in, we're more than happy to have a chat with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Cam Dance takes the overall win tonight. Sadly, I think that the gaps are a little bit out of whack in terms of the finishing positions, but certainly a dominating performance nonetheless from Cam. Certainly can't take that away from him. Adam Pirlo, fantastic result for him, taking the GTE category win. Anna Marinsky in second place, and Florian Bodin after that lap shy of fuel. He will finish in the third position in class. Fifth place overall goes to Slaven Kaluka. Andreas Fink, hadn't seen much of him all the race, but yeah, he had a very strong performance and finishes in sixth. Darren Lobb in seventh. He had a very strong performance as well. We saw that he was fighting his way through the field as well, so good to see him in seventh. Kim Sung-ho in eighth. Mark Rayner, after that contact in the middle part of the race, finishes ninth, and Taylor Nadebaum in 10th. Louis Gonzalez Nunez in the 11th position. Bernd Halbeisen in the 12th position. Tim Weston 13th. And the GT3 category win goes to Mike Owen. Dennis Weiss finishes in second in that class. 16th goes to Sean Canavan, and then the final podium position in GT3 goes to Timon Wilms. Joachim Jungren in 18th. 19th, Villa Livanainen. Apologies for that, Villa. Philip Klinger in 20th. Peter Coulson, I think, was the last of the classified finishes, and then Yanis Filipovics in the 22nd position. Alan Day finishes 23rd. Carl Townsend 24th. Jordan Weeks 25th. Asger Herbsgaard in the 26th position, and sadly Max Verstappen finishes in the 27th position. So yeah, we're just waiting on see if we have any drivers waiting for an interview. Let's see, we've got no drivers in the waiting area at this time, but certainly feel free to jump in the Discord. I have provided a link in the YouTube chat for those that wanting to jump in for an interview.
While I wait for the guys there, obviously next week the series moves on to Road America, which is a favourite track of I think both yours and mine. Scott certainly put a lot of laps in around that place and provides some very entertaining racing with the way the track flows and quite a few corners there, which very easy to catch the guys off.
Yeah, certainly. Having had a fair amount of experience in all types of categories, both GT and F1, and lower Formula categories as well. Certainly one of my favourite tracks. But as always, I'll be in the commentary box. But yeah, having lots of experience there, and with Oceanic Endurance Championship going there from their round number 2, I think that was about a month or two ago. Certainly had the pace to at least finish in the top 5. But saying that though, excuse me, that we had a bit of an incident at turn 2 on lap number 1, so we kind of were on the back foot all of the, I think, first hour and 3/4. Yeah, first hour and 3/4, and then we started to make our way back up the field, and I think we finished 8th or 8th in GTE over at the end there. So yeah, certainly, yeah, from the experience that I've had, yeah, certainly a great track. Certainly one of the trickier sections is the through turn 4 all the way through to the Canada corner, because you've got the carousel as well in there. That's going to be a huge burden on the tyres for sure. We'll see how the drivers are able to cope with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as you've alluded to, carousel probably one of the key points on the circuit. Not to mention, I think it is turn number 4, or technically turn 3, where you go downhill before you go up over the bridge there. So, some very interesting racing. Hopefully, we do see an increased participation in both the DPI and the GT3. Obviously, we know the GTE field gets a very good turnout, but yeah, certainly very much looking forward to seeing how the guys get around there.
Yeah, absolutely. Just having a look at the other 4 rounds of the championship as well. We've got Circuit de la Sarthe as well. That's going to be a cracking race as well. Long, fast straights is going to provide a lot of drafting opportunities and overtakes. Then in round number 10, we've got Suzuka. It's going to be a little bit of a one-line circuit, but certainly a lot of opportunities for overtaking, especially into turn 1 through 130R and up into the hairpin as well. Also the Casio Triangle. And then turning to round number 11 as well. A track that we don't typically go to, or at least I haven't seen in the IMSA Sportscar Championship for a while, is Virginia International Raceway. It's a nice, fast and flowing technical circuit that certainly I'm hoping that there's going to be a lot of participation. It's a very, very exciting track, one that provides a lot of great racing, especially through the fast and flowing sections in Sector 2 all the way up until the Oak Tree, which sadly isn't there anymore, which they got rid of. But think still available in iRacing, which is good to see. And then turning up for the final round of the championship will be Bathurst Mount Panorama. So that's, as always, is going to be providing a cracking race as well to end the season as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of great circuits on the road. I'm particularly looking forward to not only Road America, but probably VIR round 11, and then Bathurst, always a home favourite for the Australians that love going around there, and certainly something that's going to provide a lot of challenge with the DPI.
Yeah, so just we got one driver interview. We've got Alan Day. Sadly, he finished a little bit further down the order today, but we'll bring him up for a chat. I'll hand it over to you, Dan.
G'day, Alan. Mate, unfortunate, not probably the race you were looking to have tonight. I know when we spoke last week, looking very much forward to coming here to Montreal. Give us a bit of a rundown. What unfortunately brought an end to your night?
Now, I think I was struggling quite a lot out of some of the slower corners. I was not able to keep up with Cameron, unfortunately. In trying to do so, I was just trying to push the car too hard, had a little bit of contact with the wall. Plus, also, I was having a little bit of issues with steering input for some reason. So that's the reason why I pulled in a little bit early in the race.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate, especially to be having technical issues on the steering side. Not something you want around, especially a course like Montreal, where you do spend a lot of time in the corners here. Unfortunate there. How for the laps you were able to run with the car, how were you finding it out there as far as the setup and feel? Obviously, from what we've seen, especially with your driving throughout the season, getting a lot more familiar with the car. How did you find it tonight?
I think I was actually getting quite a lot of wheel spin coming out of some of the corners. I think we're definitely going to have to make some modifications to the setup for the car over the coming week, and pretty much go from there, really.
Yeah, definitely. Is there anything you're potentially able to take away from what you've seen tonight with the car and moving towards Road America next?
Like I'm still learning the car at the moment, like I said last week. Like I think it's a matter of getting used to the car in general, and knowing how the way that the car is generally set up. And once I've got that sort of thing mainly all sorted out, I think we'll be a little bit more closer with the top guys. Like obviously, I'm a little bit surprised that Blake didn't race tonight, but it's probably going to be racing later on in the week.
Yeah, definitely a little unfortunate not to have Blake in there, but I think the likes of Cameron Dance coming in still gives a very good yardstick to sort of compare against and go on. But obviously now with the move on to Road America, we're no doubt likely to see you guys back out for that one.
Yeah, like it's going to be a lot more straights, so it's going to be a lot more open opportunities to overtake. Like obviously, that's where ILMS is at this week. So I'm probably going to be doing quite a bit of practice doing that track for this week as well. Then that way, I'm prepared for when we actually go to that in IMSA next week.
Yeah, definitely. Well, again, unfortunate way to finish out the night tonight with those few issues with the car, and then unfortunately the steering inputs, which put an end to the night, mate. But before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a special thanks to help get the car?
Oh yeah, like obviously 10X is still which the team I'm part of is still getting used to the car, so we're still trying to get around to everything. So thank you very much for all the support from the team, for being able to put up with me, really. And obviously, I know you're streaming on YouTube and Twitch. I haven't done for the past couple of weeks, but I want to thank you guys as well for actually putting on a great event as well. Because obviously, being for others that want to get into iRacing, it helps from the likes of you guys actually putting in these sort of broadcasts, and that way they can actually see how good it is, and that way they can get into racing themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I think the open forums that we put through the broadcast certainly will help attract the drivers in, and I think we're starting to see some very good talent starting to come into this. But again, Alan, thank you very much for coming in, mate. Unfortunate again for the result tonight, but certainly looking forward to seeing you back out next week at.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you guys next week.
Fantastic, and that was Alan Day. Unfortunately, not classified tonight. He had those technical issues, which did see him finish 23rd in total. But I think with that said, Scott, it's probably time to end this one here. So thank you very much for looking after the cameras again, to all the viewers tuning in on YouTube and Twitch tonight. Great to have your support and that. Before we do go, actually, Scott, I'll get you to just run through the upcoming broadcast as well, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers, then. Just later on tonight, we've got the iRacing BRSGT Sprint Championship for round number 7 of the series at Interlagos. That'll be starting at 8 GMT for that one. So that'll be the top split broadcast for that series tonight. And then also at 19:15 GMT, we've got the BSI MX5 Pro Series for round number 19 at Charlotte Roval. Then on Friday, we've got the iRacing Le Mans Series for round number 7 of the championship. As Alan mentioned, that is at Road America. That'll be the 1900 GMT split on the Friday. And then on Saturday, we've got the Sim Racers Asia Formula 3 championship for round number 6 of that series. That'll be at Mount Panorama. I think yourself, Dan, and both of us will be in the booth for that one on Saturday. That'll be at 2100 Australian Western Standard Time, 2300 Australian Eastern Standard Time, 13 GMT for that one. And then we have the Euro V8 Supercar Series for round number 2 of the championship at Alton Park. I think that might be a super sprint format, which is pretty much a triple header raced on Saturday night. That will be at 18 GMT. On the Sunday, we've got the Aussie Mix and Fix GT Development Series for round number 7 of the championship at Road America. That'll be starting at 10:45 GMT or 18:45 Australian Western Standard Time, 20:45 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Then on Monday, we have the World GT Championship for round number 3 of that series. That'll be on the iRacing Esports Network, and that will be held at Belle Isle on Monday the 29th. That'll be at 19:15 GMT. Then a little bit later on in the night, on Monday, we've got the IMSA Sportscar Championship for number 8 of the championship for that one, and that'll be at VIR. It'll be at 12:15 AM GMT on the Tuesday morning. So there'll be a late Monday evening for the US side of iRacing, and then we'll be back for round number 8 of the championship next Tuesday, as always, for the 10:45 GMT split for the IMSA Sportscar Championship at Road America.
Fantastic. Well, to all the viewers tuning in, the drivers out here for the IMSA race, Scott Newton behind the camera, myself, Daniel Eat. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching, and we'll look forward to see you on an upcoming broadcast soon.